ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्ताय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ यैरिमे गुरुवे पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसच्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो नमः। अथर्वऋषये नमः। मण्डूकमहर्षये नमः। गौडपदाचार्यवर्याय नमः। आद्य शंकर सद्गुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गत माण्डूक्य उपनिषद शांति मंत्र। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ इत्येतदक्षरमिदगं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भवद्भविष्यत् इति सर्वमोङ्कार एव। यच्चान्यत्रिकालातीतं तदप्योङ्कार एव। सर्वं हि एतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पात् जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुग्वैश्वानरः प्रथमः पादः स्वप्नस्थानः अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसद्वितीयः पादः। यत्र सुप्तो न कञ्चन कामं कामयते न कञ्चन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत् सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थानः एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानगण एव आनन्दमयो हि आनन्दभुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञः तृतीयः पादः। एष सर्वेश्वरः एष सर्वज्ञः एषोऽन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवाप्येव हि भूतानां नान्तःप्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः। सोऽयमात्मा अधि अक्षरम् ओङ्कारो अधिमात्रं पादाः मात्राः मात्राश्च पादाः अकार उकारो मकार इति जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानरः अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेः आदिमत्वाद्वा आप्नोति ह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद। स्वप्नस्थानः तैजसः उकारः द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षादुभयत्वाद्वा उत्कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवति न अस्य ब्रह्ममित्कुले भवते य एवं वेद। सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञः मकारः तृतीया मात्रा मितेः अभितेः वा विनोति ह वा इदगं सर्वम् अपेदिश्च भवते य एवं वेद। अमात्रः चतुर्थः अव्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिवः अद्वैतः एवम् ओङ्कारः आत्मा एव संविशति आत्मना आत्मानं य एवं वेद य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम अथ अलात शान्त्याख्य चतुर्थ प्रकरणम्। ओम आदिबुद्धाः प्रकृत्यैव सर्वे धर्मा सुनिश्चिताः यस्यैवं भवति क्षान्तिः सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते आदिशान्ता ह्यनुत्पन्नाः प्रकृत्यैव सुनिर्वृताः सर्वे धर्माः समाभिन्नाः अजं साम्यं विशारदं वैशारद्यन्तु वै नास्ते भेदे विचरतां सदा भेदनिम्नाः पृथग्वादाः तस्मात् ते कृपणाः स्मृताः. By Lord's grace, Guru's grace, our continuous study of this Upanishad series is happening. Very sublime, crucial things, which are the ultimate truths, which are in fact realized only when we reach to a very deep, sincere mood of contemplation and meditation. And yet, when we try our best to understand them, in fact, these things themselves take us to the deep contemplative mood. Once we reach to that mood, then what is what becomes so clear to every one of us. Here, in this verse 94, which we saw very exhaustively yesterday, there Bhagavan did the Ninda of the Dvaita followers, both in the Gras Vyavahara as well as in your own mind as well as from the spiritual standpoint. We have exhaustively seen from the Vyavaharic standpoint also yesterday, the more Dvaita we propound or propose or promote or we do the prachara of that, the more will be differences created and the problems will grow. Lord already anyway created Dvaita that is required for the management of the world. But then in that Dvaita, for some or the other reason, more and more Bheda Drushti if we develop, we only trouble the situation, trouble others, trouble ourselves and spoil the entire show. Therefore, let any number of differences be there. We conduct because it is required outside. But always focus on the one uniting principle, whatever it may be. Thus, when we are uniting, we are protecting our own hearts. When we are in the Advaita, then there is love. Conversely, when we develop these good qualities of love and forgiveness, then we will develop the vision of the Advaita. In both of these, the Advaita as well as love alone, there is peace, happiness, in spite of any differences. The Maya does its own play of creating such a havoc within and without. If we go on valuing that, what we see is only Dvaita. If we go on valuing Dvaita, what we see is are all non positive emotions, the mind of disliking, hatred, and all, leading only to the hell of our own mind, our own life. So, the tough war between my wisdom and the power of Maya is only this. The world, the Maya tries to put the world in front with so much of differentiation and tries to disturb our mind with all negative emotions which we suffer. Our wisdom is what? In spite of all that, trying to find the common denominator and discuss and think and decide from that standpoint. The Maya says, come what may, I'll bring differences in your life and try to create all the havoc in your life, all of all negative emotions, the dveshas, the krodhas, and this feeling of what is say taking revenge and all. We have to fight with the mind and take challenge on ourselves. He come what may, I will try to see the one common denominator, whatever it may be. And having seen so, I express that vision of mine in the form of having only positive values and positive emotions of love, of forgiveness, etc. This what it does. It conquers the Maya, it conquers the mind, it conquers the duality, it conquers the negativity, it conquers all the dukkha which we experience because of the negativity. The other thing is when the positivity is there in the mind of all good emotions, we are very sukhi. That's why the person has 100 mistakes. Still, if you forgive him and express love, you are happy. On the other hand, he is doing 100 good things. But one bad thing you saw and developed the difference. The 99 good things thing never helps us. Because of one bad scene, when the mind got disturbed, we become dukhi. Nobody is happy with the dvesha, with all the negative feelings. People are happy only with love. And it is a trick of love is we can't receive or get love. We only can keep on giving. If somebody gives, it's good. But the love and non-duality go together. Wherever you want to maintain the non-duality, you have to express love. Wherever you want to enjoy love, you have to seek some common denominator. In either of them, when we fail, that we are not able to see oneness, then you see differences, then bound to be miserable. Then, when you are not able to express the love, instead of the love, any other emotion comes of non-positive, opposite to love. Then we suffer. In the love, everything is there. Taking care is there. Service is there. Forgiveness is there. Acceptance is there. All of them are expressions of love. Mother loves child. Therefore, she accepts all stupidity of the child. That's how she enjoys, the child enjoys. A secret of it is what we should understand, that though people don't deserve love, it is our duty to extend love for our own protection. Why don't they deserve love? Because they are funny, they are egoistic, they are very selfish, very, very shrewd they are. They are nowadays though non-sympathetic and insensitive. Pakka khudgars. You everybody, the wife toward husband, husband toward, because of the whole jiva koti is like that in today's world. From that standpoint, if you see, we also feel like living like that only. Therefore, why they are like that, why should I be good? I'll also be like that. Then there is no difference between you and him. So while protecting ourselves from the other person's troubles that is giving, same time without trespassing or digressing from all the whatever the rules or all the dharma, at the same time within we have to have the love, and outside jitna zarurat hai usko itna express karna. And see what is the commonness that can be brought. Everybody is jiva like me. Everybody has their own samskaras like me. I am struggling, they are also struggling. Is it not? I am also evolving very slowly, they are also evolving. I want everyone to give me chances more and more. Let me also give chances. Is it not? If somebody does wrong to me, I just protect myself. Do that much, that is enough. More than that, any opinion, any thought of any sort which creates differences is going to cause harm. The trick of the mind we must know how it cheats us by ourselves, making us behave in a funny manner. Same mind makes us see in the people some negativities. Thus, it creates that negative feelings and makes us suffer both ways. अंदर भी खुद को भी वो अच्छा काम नहीं करने देता, फिर अंदर का रिग्रेट्स गिल्ट्स चलते हैं, दूसरों के प्रति भी दोष दृष्टि कराता है, उसके द्वारा भी हम डबल दुखी होते हैं. This is how the mind and Maya habituated to play. We have to reverse it. Never in our life, from now onwards, Bheda Nimnata, that submerge in the differences. See, there's nothing to talk about differences. They are there. आंखों के सामने दिख रहे हैं ना. You are not creating differences. They are very much seen. The whole world is made up differences only. But we should not submerge in that while looking out into the world. How did it express as Prathakawada? Ha! We only do the vadanam of alag karna, alag karna, alag karna. Then such people, whatever they achieve or not achieve outside, but inside they cannot be at peace and calmness. That non-peace and non-calmness, and always inside in that mood of frustration, disturbance, the rajoguna, all that put together is called a Kripanatha. And it leads what to what? To the dukkha. To be dukkhi is Kripana. And in that dukkha, we try to find solution outside, maintaining the duality only, which is impossible. That is further Kripana. More than all that, we who are the what I say, varis hai, we who supposed to claim the inner peace and joy because we are the self. That self knowledge, the meditation on the knowledge of the self, and reaching to the self anubhuti is denied for us, and that's how also we become Kripana. Because mind is always in that bhava of individuality for himself. in the bhava of others, also somebody other than him, then always there is an interaction, struggle, fight going on in terms of some or the other emotions. So that mind is fully occupied in that. Totally it's lost. Such minds never remember even one shloka of Upanishad. Forget about the meaning, the deeper meaning, the contemplation aspect of it, the meditation aspect of it, the actualization aspect of it. वो तो दूर की बात है. We can't even focus. That inability to focus on the self. From there onwards, inability to experience the self. In technical terms, is called as Kripanatha. Same thing at the mind level is called as always in the mood of non happiness, non peace, non satisfaction. Struggle is going on in the mind, worry is going on in the mind. But why people don't listen to me? Why don't they behave like that? These are all kachra hai wo. That's a krupana. Then outside also, why that person like that? Why this like that? Our behavior also will be so krupanata yukta that we use very low level of language. We use low level of words and logics and all. That's called as Prathakawada. In that Prathakawada, our speech is only in finding fault with people because we are frustrated inside. ऐसा क्यों नहीं किया तुमने? कहते हैं उसने अच्छा भी काम की, फिर ऐसा क्यों नहीं किया? कहते हैं दूसरे हैं तो ऐसा क्यों किया? That क्यों never goes away. That is what the Prathakawada. In that क्यों question में you are questioning. Questioning is non-acceptance. That is duality. That is inherently as the dukkha because nobody wants to be questioned. Or do you want to be questioned or accepted? Even if some things are there to be questioned, there's a way. It is not a questioning. Not even it's an objection. It is even lesser than suggestion. It is only a feeling expressed in terms of words कि ऐसा है तो और अच्छा होता होगा. कोशिश करके देखना. You know that, Hare, what are you saying is right. I didn't understand or it didn't click to me. Thank God, I'll try it next time. See, that person receives that suggestion very delicately told. But we become very strong in our finding faults or giving suggestions or trying to improve upon. Nobody likes. You are with me so many years. Do you think you will like me when I try to suggest you? You will not. Everyone has their own ego fully up to the brim sufficient level. Nobody wants it to be touched by anyone. In this type of language, that is touched. Then that's how we create people as our enemies. And that sort of talking or any other behavior is called Prathakvadaha. In that, they're so unconscious or subconscious or stupid that in their interaction, they are creating differences more rather than uniting. This aspect they don't understand. चलता ही रहता. Both in the outer vyavahara also, our we should become united not in negativity, in mutual pure love and trust in which we help each other and grow. More than that, spiritually also, I should be able to visualize the same self in you. When I look at you with all differentiation, fight with you in my own heart, how can I see the God in you? वो contradiction होता है वो, नहीं बनता हो. Just like when you see the Lord in all, that you'll be able to eliminate negative feelings towards others. So too, only when we remove the negative feelings from others towards others, that we'll be able to see the God in everyone. They are complementary to each other. So all this Vyavaharika beauty, the Manasika peace, the spiritual unfoldment, all of them are there depending on our Ekameva Dvitiyam Advaita Abheda Abhinna Drushti. And it won't come just like that. Because our habit of seeing Veda from many lives and anybody around us talk in that language only. So it's a very big struggle to bring the Ekatva, easy to bring from the Adhyatma standpoint because the Shastra we are studying. But at the Vyavahara level, the Manasika level, it was such a struggle. That's why you and I find it so difficult to be living in this world with these differences and get so much of frustration and suffering. अब करते क्या अल्टीमेटली अब मेरे को किससे बात नहीं करना, किससे मिलना नहीं. So this is not the final solution, no? Is it not? You can't live like that. You have to talk at least to your servants, your shopkeepers. अब किसी से करना ही पड़ेगा, अब वहाँ भी कुछ-कुछ हो जाता है। So see the common denominator. All dayas are made, all are jivas, all are struggling, all are self-insufficient in terms of wisdom. Everybody on their path of evolution. Everybody is a good person basically. All are good, acting like bad temporarily. Not the other way around. All are bad, acting like good. No, when you give that faith and benefit of doubt, whether other person is benefited or not, we get benefited because our mind is protected. What we have to ultimately do in Vyavahara as well as spirituality is protect our mind's peace. And this is achieved through these techniques. Then only the higher and deeper truths of the Shastra we can contemplate. Like the role of mind, the role of imaginations, the role of projections, the role of getting carried away by the words of people, even getting carried away seeing something from the eyes or listening from the ears. Then come the next level of the subtle topics of the avidya and maya and their role, the prakriti, how it is influencing. Uske baad, then we discuss about the self, which is supporting everything but untouched by anything. Then that self is me, and towards that self this is how I have to contemplatively reach out. So इतने पहाड़ पड़ाव हमको आगे बढ़ने. First and foremost is, may your presence be okay to others, may everything others is not disturbing me. That happens only when we see the Veda Drushti, not with Veda. See, protecting that person's interest, protecting our own mind's interest, yet negotiating through all the inevitable differences, we should find something to be common so that the oneness is maintained. The disturbance is not allowed to pop up or crop up in our mind. That is the highest wisdom. And so many things from Vyavahara standpoint I can talk. One thing is, which we have already spoken 2 minutes back, neither listen to anybody saying about anybody wrong or bad, nor yourself promote it. We have none of the business if the people are wrong. We need not even point out. We are not proofreaders in this world, and we don't have the authority also. And nobody is listening to us. And even if we tell, it spoils that person's mind, this person's image, and mutual relation. उसे क्या हुआ? थोड़ा सा जो चांस होता है उस बंदे को इम्प्रूव होने का, वो भी नहीं होगा. Even if somebody tries to tell negative of others, you say, I don't want to listen. Full stop, that's it. But it's so bad. No, I have to tell you ki you can protect yourself if I inform you. No, that is an excuse, but it already creates a preconceived notion that you will not be able to see that person unbiased way. That much capacity like a yogi to be a witness to everything. Sakshi. ये तो आया नहीं ना हमको. We are at such a non-sensitive, sensitive level, non-sensible, sensitive level. So anything anybody says, we get influenced. Use without using our dimag. वो है ही नहीं. Are we yogi or what? Did we study all Shastras or what? That did we do the practice for many years and lives as to how to analyze the personalities at all levels and where they go wrong? क्या हमने साइकोलॉजिस्ट नहीं है, हम फिजिक्स स्पिरिचुअल नहीं है, कोई शास्त्र नहीं पढ़ा, महायोग दृष्टि नहीं है, अष्ट सिद्धियां नहीं है. We are such a funny people, try to influence others, try to get influenced by others. At such level, if we allow other to tell us, then mind is colored. Then you'll never be looking at the person as it is. First of all, forget about seeing God in him. उन्होंने कहा किस हैसियत से कहा हो, even if that person troubled him 100%, still you, why should it be affecting you? No, no, he's very bad. I tell you, he cheated me. And he might have cheated you. Why should I think that he'll cheat me? नहीं, जब होगा तो देखेंगे. We'll be careful. We'll be, in general, we have to be careful, not with a particular person. Generally, we have to be careful. That's it. And it is applying everywhere. How can we create? Never ever listen from the second person about the third person's negativities. Never ever. Third person, another point is, we also should never ever talk. I don't know, कह दो बस. ज़्यादा वो नहीं होना है, too much inside that excitement to tell about all negative of this person to other, and therefore he should be protected and all. If we are spiritual, निपटने दो उनको. हाउ शुड आई लेट देम आस्क, देन लेट अस सी. एनीबडी आल्सो इसमें उसका इसकी बात नहीं है. पीपल आर लाइक दिस, मे बी देयर इज अ चांस वर्ल्ड में लाइक दैट. यू प्रोटेक्ट योरसेल्फ, इतना छोड़ देना. मोर देन दैट लेट देम नो फ्रॉम विद इन. And we also, when we are conscious about our behavior and our alertness, then we can see nobody troubles us. Nobody can cheat us. उतना अपने आप को रक्षा तो करना है. So all this vyavaharik we have spoken, but in general also, the Lord created millions of variety of beings, but in and through all of that, He sees Himself only. There's shloka in Gita, Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna, sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah. He's a param yogi. In spite of all differences, the one who is able to maintain oneness is parama yogi. Other karma yogi, jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi, kundalini yogi, hatha yogi, chakra vedana yogi, both hote hain, but he is a parama yogi who is able to visualize the one self in all. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati sukham va dukkham va sayogi paramavata. एंड देन लिटिल हट के थोड़ा एक आध बात है, हट कर पहले ही बता रहा हूँ कि the world is going through very such a tough situation. One is there are no people who are by example teaching us the values, the spirituality. Very few are there. They are not very influential because they are not fully in that. Second is entire totality is moving towards materialism so much. Materialism inherently has the capacity to create the devils in us. The moment you become Bhautikavadi, you will become Rakshasa because Rakshasas are Bhautikavadi. Because in trying to become materialistic, you have to become identified with Dehendriya, that strong feeling of this Dehosmi, I am this Indriyas, and through this Indriya and Deha I must become Sukhi. This insistence will definitely create the senses of separation, differentiations, insecurities, fightings. You can't avoid. The whole world is in that period. Now, what's our role in that? Should we add to that negative by our own contribution? By our own negative feelings as well as fighting with the people? No. The world needs love now. The world needs compassion. The world needs forgiveness. World needs the sympathy and empathy. World needs people who can speak good words. Never mind beta, you are going to be better. Not world doesn't need the people who are angry, who are cranky. They themselves are angry, cranky. आप भी बनोगे तो then it becomes a युद्ध only. We think there's a war going in Russia and Ukraine. There's war between every two people. And in everybody's mind, the war is going on all the time. We need not add to that. And whatever can be done outside, do. But more than that, inside we have to. Let all be happy. Let all be on right path. Let all be taken care. Let all be forgiven. Let all get the inner vision, inner maturity as to how to conduct outside. In this way, you have to go on adding positivity to the people. Sympathize with the people in the globe today. Look from the above. And from there, you look at them and how they are enjoying outside but suffering inside. Their own inner inefficiencies. They don't even know that they are suffering. Their own egos, suffering their own, the slavery to the mind. All the educated people are in this suffering. भयंकर अहंकार है, भयंकर मन का जो मनमानी है, उसके इतने भयंकर विक्टिम है. That's why they are in lonely place. They go somewhere and they become the drunkards, the drug addicts. क्यों हो रहा है सब? Every day there is something regarding drugs throughout the country that is being caught here. इतने 1,000 kilo, इतने 100 kilo. Who's consuming and why they are consuming? They are suffering their own minds and egos because there's no school, there's no institution, there's no parents who know all that and teaching them. What is taught all the way is काम करो, पैसे कमाओ, खाओ, पियो, सो बस. जरूरत पड़ी तो किसी को बेग, बारो, स्टील, किल, मर्डर. That's what is prevalent. So powerfully. I'm saying from observing the total globe standpoint, the jivas, their mind. Then what's our contribution? First of all, we have to reduce all those non-positiveness. Secondly, develop all spiritual sadhanas and become great tapasvi. Third, bring out all those good emotions, qualities, values. Fourth, spread them in the mind level, at the mind subtle level, so too as much as your looks, your touches, your words, full of forgiveness, full of love, full of compassion. Come what may, whatever they are. पहले उनको वुंड को क्लियर करो, पहले उनके दर्द, हर बंदा दर्द दिल दर्द जिगर. Nobody is happy in this world. It's not an easy thing. I'm not talking about pleasure. प्लेजर्स यानी सुअर को भी प्लेजर आता है जब वो कीचड़ में होता है. दैट एनीवे, दैट वी डोंट टॉक अबाउट. द सेंस प्लेजर्स आर tickling of sense pleasures are, it's a myopia. It's only excuses. There's an opium only. We're not talking the peace, the joy, the dignity of being a human. Nobody is enjoying it. Everybody is suffering. जैसे करोड़पति हो या कोई भी हो, सी दैट इन पॉलिटिक्स, कौन कब अपने पार्टी छोड़ के जाएगा, एवरीबडी इज अफ्रेड. कोई किसी को खरीद, दैट्स व्हाई यू सी व्हेन इलेक्शन कम, अपने पार्टी लोगों को कहीं दूसरे गांव में होटल में बांध के रखते हैं ताकि इसको कोई खरीदे ना. सी दैट फनी थिंग्स दैट आर हैपनिंग. हाउ मच ऑफ फियर देयर. Everybody is going through that. Our contribution is just be in that. And this becomes unknowingly our own sadhana, that we are getting rid of all our non positivities from within. He is called a sadhu. Who is sadhu? Gives only good, never gives bad. Let the world be whatever it is. Sadhus are required in today's world in true sense. Healing the people's inner wounds, not punishing them for their mistakes. है ना? That's anyway, Bhagavan will be doing that. We have to be there to heal them, to take them into confidence. Then first to say koi baat nahi. Then there is a better chance. This is when you try. And another thing is what? People are not even ready to listen if you try to advise them. My words, people, when I speak on, only in the interest they take so negatively, they stop coming to class. No, and we don't have any biasness. We only say this is how it should be. But people so egoistic, they don't even think Swami is speaking in our own interest. होता नहीं उनको. That's so strong is the ego. But still, you can't go away from the world. You can't stop interacting with them. World. We can't suffer because of them. We should not trouble them. ये सब मैनेज करना मेच्योरिटी कहते हैं. दिस इज द टफेस्ट जॉब. बैठ कर भगवान का नाम लेना कोई भी करते. ये टेप रिकॉर्ड तोता भी करता है वो. ये बिकमिंग अग्रेसिव लाइक राक्षस एंड कुछ भी हो जाए दुनिया का, मैं खुश हो जाऊं, ये तो कर ही रहे लोग. वो भी कोई मजेदार बात नहीं. Staying in the center, not losing our peace, not losing sight of our own goal, embarking on that path diligently, systematically, at the same time, tolerating the rakshasatva of the people, creating that good atmosphere of love, and then taking care of them to the extent possible. That is the great achievement. Such are the souls that are needed in the world today. Is it not? More and more such. From that standpoint, Karikakara is speaking. Vedanimnaha, Prathakawadaha, Kripanaha. And they don't have Vaisharadhyam. The Vaisharadhyam means purity, means happiness. See, love and happiness and purity are together. Impurity, hatred and misery are together. One set. Wherever impurity, there is hatred. Where is hatred, there is dukkha. Wherever there is purity, there is love. Wherever love, there is shanti or anandam. So, Vaisharadhyam tu vainasti bhede vicharatam sada bhedanimna prathakvada tasmat te kripanasmataha is a technical explanation, not a vengeance or finding fault or scolding. इसके बाद विशारद ही नहीं है, ये तो हमेशा भेद में डूबा हुआ है, ये पृथकवाद करता रहता है, तो कृपण है. This is not emotionally our Karika scolding. No, he's telling the fact. He's talking in a different tone. He is feeling sympathetically. When he's talking about oneness, how can he talk in the language of anger? Anger and oneness don't go together. In anger, you differentiate. In love only, he says, they are the Kripanaha. So they are Bechare, unfortunately, immersed in the Bhedavad, Vedanimnaha. Prathakawada, nobody is telling them, they're not understanding what you're talking is differentiating only. And I really feel bad that there's no happiness or peace in their mind. Vaisharadhyam to haine. How to help them? In that language is talking. The inner purity only is not there, then how can they be happy with themselves? Without being happy with themselves, how can spread they can spread happiness to others? So I pity them, I sympathize them. May somehow or the other they come to know that they are living the life of Prathakawada based on Veda Nimnata. And thus the entire life they live only a Kripana. How to bring them out of that Karpanyata? Is it not? And as we concluded yesterday, if you remember, the only way ultimately to bring the entire world united without any differentiation at any sort is by inculcating the Ekameva Advitiyam Atmajnana. Self is one in all. That's it. No caste, no creed, no religion. अरे जब सेल्फ को सब में एक होने में कोई इतराज नहीं है, हमें क्यों होना है? See, Lord is there in the jivas in all nations, in all religions, in all cultures. सब में भगवान है ना. जब उनको ऐतराज नहीं है, when he has no how can we object? You see, our fighting with anyone is our objection towards the Lord, which is always overruled. Therefore, we only suffer. We can't fight. Depending on your outer professions, it's okay inside. कोई चोर है, जिंदा है कि मरा है? जिंदा है. अब कौन जिला रहा है उसको? भगवान. अब भगवान का ऐतराज नहीं है. वही आर स्ट्रगलिंग. If you are a police wala, you catch him, that's all professional. If you are a judge, then accordingly you give punishment, that's all vyavahar. But inside, Bhagavan is allowing them to live. Who are you? A lion and tiger, Lord only made. He only made them seemingly cruel. They are not cruel, they are hungry. Therefore, they pounce and kill and they eat. That's it. We are human being more cruel than the tigers and lions. Different language, different topic. But these are the ways which we have to develop to think in the direction which starts giving us the conviction as a practice of how to see oneness, how to express that seen oneness through the love and forgiveness and positive talk of encouragement rather than non-positive. Otherwise, we ourselves continue to be Kripana. We make others also Kripana, and we only talk of the language of Prathakawada and we are immersed in the Vedanimnata. Then he's never at ease or peace. There's no Vaisharadhyam in him. Vaisharadhyam means Vishuddhi means purity. Nahi hoga wo. He may do lot of upasana, lot of puja. ये सब बहुत gross है. Discovering consistent inner peace and joy is the real achievement. अब तुम 2 घंटे पूजा में बैठे हो, उसके बाद राक्षस शैतान बने तो क्या फायदा उसका? That's not a good ultimate achievement. You may go to all Tirtha Yatras. So what? Tatakim, tatakim, tatakim. You may get some punyam, you may get award rewards, but the basic problem from within of talking in the language of differentiation, if it doesn't go, then you may be happy with this person, but you'll be miserable with other. You may be happy in this condition, but not in the other. No, in one condition being happy, in another non-happy is a samsara. It's not spirituality. In spirituality, in every condition, you are at peace and ease and happiness. That's called as the Vaisharadhya. That will be gained only in a higher maturity of seeing one. That one is only Paramatma. Other than him, already other than him has come. It is two. That's important. It is. And the more we become powerful in seeing that one Lord in all, we get such luster and such inner power that in our presence, people also start visualizing like that, like in the presence of Gurudev. We also become so inclined towards spiritual sadhana. We just feel so tempted भाई सब छोड़कर अभी मैं भी उनके साथ समान ध्यान करके तत्व को जानूं. He is immersed in that experience so much that his presence inspires us like a great bhakta. In his presence, you also get totally lost into the devotion and surrender. Is it not? In the same way, we should become so much that in our presence, people should be that way molded. And in today's world, That has to be achieved silently, and service also can be done silently. The moment we become, even on the name of service, little extra, then all the media, everybody, they will talk, they pull us about, they bring out your history of five lives back and say he was a criminal 5 lives back. Abhi 5 lives back, everybody is criminal. What's now? They don't look at all, silently. So this shloka being so important, the next one also equally. Next one we have not said elaborately, but uska सार इसमें आ गया कि वैशारद्यम नास्ति, इनको वैशारद्यम है. भेद निम्नाः, they are अभेद निम्नाः. पृथक्वादाः एकवादाः. They are कृपणाः, they are विशाल हृदयाः. The next one. Yeah. Now we will see the 95th one. इसका तो हमने भाष्य भी देखते यहाँ है. हाँ, हम्म, हम्म. सो भाष्य पढ़ो. ये यथोक्तम परमार्थ तत्वम प्रतिपन्नाः. Those who have in by experience discovered the paramartha tattva, which is as said earlier, ajam samyam, you know, adi buddhaः, adi shantaः, te eva akrupanaः lokehe. They are the only ones who are seeing the same self everywhere. Therefore, there is no inner feeling of their own limitation or conditioning, the outer feeling of somebody is other than them. That akrupanata is achieved by them. They are the only one. Krupanaha tu eva anye. Others are krupanaha. Who are they? Yasmat, because their life is bheda nimnaha, means bheda anuyayinaha. A serious, sincere, strict followers of bheda. Bheda nimna, differences. You know, when you see that yesterday and day before, that UK president coming and our PM receiving in such a royal way, it's I was so surprised to see. Then a very bad thought came to me. Then I felt guilty. The PM is doing better. What bad thought came to me? Instead of taking him to Sabarmati Ashram, we should have taken him to Jallianwala Bagh and shown, see how many thousands of our Hindus or Indians were killed by your government, General Dyer or particular Dyer, just 10 days back only. है ना, April 13, 1919. अभी तक सॉरी भी नहीं बोला यूके वालों ने. I got that thought. You should have taken him there and shown how the Britishers have done it. Is it not? But I thought later on कि what would be its consequence in the present and future. अकल को अंदर से आना पड़ता है, किसी को देने से होता नहीं वो. Then that royal treatment, he was melted only, that fellow. What is its consequence at trade level? And I don't know all that. I can't see. मेरे को उतना दिमाग है ही नहीं. But what was seen was abhedata. He just welcomed everyone. Such a red carpet treatment and salute with a respectful honor and all. बहुत सारे आ रहे हैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये वो श्रीलंका के, उनको उतना नहीं कर रहे हो. I feel so. Maybe I have not followed. But this person was taken so royal. He was flabbergasted. मेरे को जिंदगी में ऐसा नहीं मिला. मेरी बीवी भी इतनी प्यार नहीं की मुझे. He was looking like that. Perhaps it's the best way of reception and respect I've received. And when I was watching him, that person, the escorting fellow, he came and saluted. Hindi में कहा, आइए sir, or something he said. Then he was not understood what to do. He said, please come left hand से दिखाया. Then he came. Then he was walking on the red car. This person with बड़ा तलवार is behind. वो बार बार पीछे देख रहा है. भोकेगा तो नहीं. I was enjoying that scene. He was all alone there. सारे पीएम वीएम सब वहाँ थे, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर एंड इनके डेलीगेशन, उनके डेलीगेशन. ही वाज अलोन देयर विद दैट पर्दा और एक बंदा तलवार के साथ. See, those who have fear, they'll have like that thinking. We are respecting you here. We are singly respecting you as a president or whatever power to the entire United Kingdom. So that was then. That was no Bheda Drishti. Good. And see the diplomatic ties, diplomatic signing, the things that go on. That's all goes on changing. Our alliance with this nation, depending on the maturity of the government which is ruling, in the interest of government, if in the interest of public or nation, if at all they are so, it goes on. कभी दोस्ती अमेरिका से करो, यूके से करो, ये तो चलता ही रहता है. It's very funny. The politics is so funny, but it is highly intelligent. Outside looks funny, but inside is very matured. It all goes on. But what is your heart? See, the point is what? Somebody chooses to come to our country itself is an honor to us. That to such a high level of personality. आजकल कोई किसी घर नहीं जा रहा है. जा रहा है तो खुदगर्जी से जा रहे हैं. प्यार से कौन जा रहा है? आप गए हो क्या पिछले 1 हफ्ते में किसी के घर? कहाँ अपने घर में खाओ पियो टी देखो सो जाओ. Then if somebody is coming to our nation, is it not? It's very respect. We have to reciprocate it. That I have seen yesterday. Is it, past is okay. That's all history. You can't analyze it with one incident. उसमें अपने लोगों ने कहाँ गलती की. You have to say we are to be blamed from the 17th, 16th century. Our stupid kings are the ones who have allowed these fellows to come and dominate. अब देखो हमेशा कोई भी जो बंदा दुखी होता है ना, he is the main cause for his own दुख. If the India is struggling, suffering, it is India. If Hindus are suffering, we are the reason. You can't blame others because how did you give chance to them? They are very subtle truths. We don't analyze them. We don't have capacity or dareness to analyze them and accept them. ऊपर ऊपर हम देखते हैं. And one of the vision of life is what? Learn from past, look ahead. Learn from past and look ahead. Build glorious future. Build glorious future. And see that others dare not try to commit such nonsense towards you again. And one of the ways the military power like China trying to do. Another way is the love. Love. मेरे को लगता है ये कहेगा मैं इंडिया में सेटल हो जाऊंगा जाकर. Anybody comes to India from except some funny people who have preconceived notions, seeing our love and hospitality, they try to stay. He says I was so happy. मेरे को गुजरात बहुत अच्छा लगा. He was saying it just to please PM. Our PM is beyond all that. He's a yogi in that form, not a finished yogi, but en route. What we are saying here is they are all Bheda Nimnaha, Bheda Anuyayinaha. दिल और सेंसेस चाहिए भेद देखने के लिए. दिमाग की जरूरत नहीं है. दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है अभेद दृष्टि के लिए. और द वन हु लिव्स विद दिमाग इज ह्यूमन बीइंग, ट्रू ह्यूमन बीइंग. व्हाट इज द दिमाग्स यूज इन seeing abedata? First of all, abheda is required. Bheda is not required. Bheda is giver of dukkha only. This understanding is first utilization of intellect. घर में एक दूसरे से लड़के क्या मिलने वाला है unless other than losing the peace? Is it not? That is called as intellect. Is it not? Remember, when you fight, you are miserable, others miserable. You don't fight, other may be miserable, but you are peaceful. That's how non-fighting. केते भेदानुयायिनः संसार अनुगाः एस्टडेविसा इति अर्थ के पृथक्वादाः. पृथक means नाना वस्तु इति एवं वदनम् येषां ते पृथक्वादाः. This what we spoke is very vyavaharic, very worldly. But what Karikakara toward the Mandukya is saying is कि इति एवं वदनम् येषां नाना वस्तु इति एवं वदनम् येषां ते पृथक्वादाः. Those who are talking about the Ekameva Advaya Paramatma as two, with whatever the language they talk. They say so many Prakriti, so many, what do I say, Dhatus are there of Prakriti with which world is made. Whether they say Prakriti and Purusha is different, they say Jiva and Ishvara are different. Whoever are such Dvaitins hai, Dvaitinaha ityartaha. वस्तु नाना नहीं रे बाबा, वस्तु नाना दिख रहा है. The self is one, but is seen as many. They are called Dvaitins. They are all in the Prathakawada only. They have neither understood the glory of the self's oneness, nor they are accepting, understanding the greater glory of the self being one. You understand? Therefore, they are only in entertaining themselves in duality. They justify it. Therefore, they are कृपण. सेंस ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी, फियर ऑलवेज उनमें होता है. देखो एक सन्यासी है ट्रू सेंस में, नॉट ड्रेस चेंज एंड ऑल, एंड डिस्कवर्ड परमात्मा. विल ही हैव एनी भेद वेर एवर ही गोस? Otherwise, how can he be called as sannyasi? And how did he do that? By discovering one Lord. If not, neither is a sannyasi nor he can be happy anywhere he goes. See, it's a simple common sense. We are not going into deep contemplative mood even of discovering all objects in senses, all senses in mind, all thoughts of mind into the stuff of mind, and mind merged in Maya, and bypassingly we reach to one without second self. उतना meditatively हम नहीं बात कर रहे. Simple in the local language also, if you see. So Dvaitinaha Nanavastuvadinaha Prathakawada, they are Kripanaha. Now, Tasmat they Kripanaha means Kshudraha, Smrutaha. They are to be labeled as Kshudra or Kripana. Very low cadre. Don't meet with them and mix with them and destroy a possibility in you of discovering oneness. Even if it's a great saintly dress, if he is promoting from the heart the duality, he doesn't need respect. You did not respect him. At the Vyavahara level, if he is talking of differences for driving some point home and intact in proposing ultimately the Advaita Tattva, he is true saint. व्यवहार के लिए कभी वो बोलना पड़ता है उससे बच के रहो इससे ठीक है बट हार्ट इन हार्ट ऑल आर वन द वन हु स्पीक्स इज रियली सेइंग सेंट्स में भी लेवल्स होते हैं अल्टीमेट वाला कहता है सब में मैं एक ही परमात्मा को देख रहा हूँ मैं शांत हूँ तुम भी वही देखो तुम भी शांत हो जाएगे इसके अलावा मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकता क्योंकि कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है फायदा नहीं है क्षुद्राह क्षुद्रा मीन्स वन देयर ऑल ऑफ लो कैडर. So by saying so, he is not finding Vedanta with them, then he will become Shudra. He is saying for the sake of saying, because he has to say because somebody is wanting to listen. It's not he is in that mood of Vedata and Kshudrata. He is saying Abheda only, but he is telling wherever there is expression of Veda Drushti, Kripanatha will be there, Kshudrata will be there. Yasmad Vaisaradyam Vishuddhi Tata Nasti. So what is the absence of Vishuddhi? We have said exhaustively yesterday. They are not at peace. They are not at solace. They are not at happiness. They are always fighting within their own minds with all variety of emotions of the mind because the mind is given a chance. दिमाग यूज किया तो एकता आ जाएगा तो माइंड को एक ही मौका मिलेगा प्यार करो. अब oneness is not seen because intellect is not used. The mind is given more avenues to think so many other negative qualities. So therefore, he said कि वैशारद्यम तत् न अस्ति विशुद्धि नहीं है उसमें तेषाम भेदे विचरताम द्वैत मार्गे अविद्या परिकल्पिते सर्वदा वर्तमानानाम इत्यर्थ. This is the main sentence. Those who are justifying themselves in living the Dvaita Marga, which is imagined, projected by the avidya, such people are always in Ashuddhi and they are in Kripanatha. इति अतः युक्तमेव तेषां कार्पण्यम इति अभिप्राय. नो इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सेंटेंस. युक्तमेव तेषां कार्पण्यम इति अभिप्राय मतलब इट्स अ स्ट्रेट थिंग लाइक दैट से यू डिड दिस पनिशमेंट अकॉर्डिंग टू द लॉ बुक यू आर पनिश्ड यू डिड दिस क्राइम. इसी तरह कहते हो अरे मेंटेन भेद का कर रहे हो तो तुम कृपण ही रहोगे मैं क्या करूं. सच ए स्टेटमेंट ऑफ है यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द माय प्रिस्क्रिप्शंस एंड द रूल्स देयरफॉर योर डिसीज विल ग्रो ओनली. मैं क्या करूं. What will the doctor do if you don't follow the diet and if you don't follow all the disciplines to avoid the diabetes? And it's growing on. रोते हुए डॉक्टर साहब जब आपके आए तो 200 था अभी 300 हो गए. What he says, you are not following, what can I do? So too, you are maintaining Dvaita, then you will be Kripana. What can I do? That is what he said. Atha yuktameva tesham karpanyam. युक्तमेव मतलब होगा ही वो. There will be Kripanatha in them. Who can help them? They have to help from themselves from within. This is the beautiful sloka that way. Now we will see the other one. Next one, which is talking about the stuti of the Abheda Darshan. Earlier was the Ninda of the Bheda Drishti, saying that they are Kripana. Why that is done? For protecting us, not to go in that direction of the Veda Drishti and becoming Kripana and Ashuddha and suffer inside and add to the suffering of the world. वो अवॉइड करने के लिए कहा. अब पॉजिटिव देखो. एवं अविद्वत निंदाम प्रदर्श्य विद्वत प्रशंसाम प्रसारयति. Now having said about the avidwan who is maintaining Dvaita and becoming Kripana inside and also Ashuddha and suffering. How now the Vidwan की स्तुति हो रही है. Beautiful mantra it is. Half of it is already said, more than half, 90%, because when you say about that, opposite of it is already goes without saying. Now, chant the mantra. Ajay samye tu eke chito bhavishyanti sunishchitaha tehi loke mahagnanaha tacha loko nagahate. Ajay samye tu eke chito bhavishyanti sunishchitaha tehi loke mahagnanaha तच्च लोको न गाहते. अजय साम्ये तु ये केचितो भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते. अजय साम्ये तु ये केचितो भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते. It's such a beautiful shloka. I feel like doing the japa of it for 108 times. Very sweet shloka it is. I'll tell you in a very simple language first, then the details of that we work out, then we study Bhashya. The simple language mein, you can see that feeling of Karika Kara expressed on his face, in which you can see his eyes and eyebrows as well as the forehead is getting expanded. When you look at somebody with doubt and suspicion, ये सब shrink हो जाता है. When you appreciate someone, then it gets expanded. Is it not? Yeah, he's such a funny fellow. He's so great. No, you can see in the earlier कृपण वाले में he just उनका सारे भ्रुकुटी जो है बंद हो गया. अब in this shloka he opens up. And he says, it's a very beautiful thing. Sometimes, no, the feeling is more expressive than the explanation in words. He says, Ajay Samye to ye kechit bhavishanti, but sunishchitaha. Those who have fully nischaya purvaka rupa established in that Aja Samya includes all other words which are used. He's only hinting, you have to understand. बार बार नहीं कहते हैं. देखो, he is उनका पूरा हिस्ट्री बता दिया. And then such person has come to our program. That is said. But every time he is not said, no, such person who is born there, every time you can't say. We have invited him, and such person whom we have invited, he came. Now, such person, so and so details, whom we have invited, he came. Now we are asking him to talk. And again, after he spoke, then such person with all details, to him we thank that he came and concluded his talk. You don't say. We say, such one we are inviting you. That's it. Every time the whole details are not given. He says, Ajay Samya means you have to understand. All that Adi Buddha word, the Adi Shanta, Anutpanna. Wo self whose two sample qualities are said here as Aja Samya. Remaining you understand. And in this everything includes. Aja is unborn, unmodifying, unchanging, undying. Then Samya is equivalent and also it's one without second. Hint देते ही पकड़ लेना पूरा. If you have thoroughly studied the earlier shlokas, bhashyas, then once he says Ajay Samya, you can understand it is indicating about the truth in its entire explanation. Ye kechit bhavishyanti sunishchita. Whoever by experience get established in that ekameva dvayam Ajay Samya. After saying so, third line, our Karikakara is just opening up his bhrukuti and the eyes. And he was looking for what word should I use to praise that person. Sometimes word fail to express our feelings of love or respect, even anger also. He says, Tehi loke mahajnanaha. They are the only ones who are mahajnana. Maha is a word you say when you can't explain anything in quantitatively. Such a huge quantity, you can't put in word. Therefore, you hear Maha. Means what? Any quantification is less only. Therefore, the Mahajnana. Feel that? And I chant it, you feel. Ache Same tu ye kechit bhavishanti sunishchitaha tehi loke Mahajnana. They are the ones in the world. Mahajnana. This Mahajnana is opposite to the Kripanatha there. Those are Alpajnani and always frustrated. Mahajnana. Now, the next word is both increasing his expressions to the higher level also, or it is maybe looking at the one who are listening sympathetically also. What he says? After Mahajnanaha, tacha lokaha nagahyate. That means such a great Mahajnana they are in, that the ordinary people are never able to fathom their greatness. सिंपथेटिकली, पर फिर भी क्या करें, ऐसे महात्माओं को लोग समझते नहीं. Both ways. Tacha loka na gahate. An ordinary person will not understand them, or not understandable by the ordinary people. Lokam is ordinary. Ordinary लोग नहीं जानते उनको. A sympathetic way of expression. But in the expression of the higher level, लोग ordinary क्या समझे होंगे उनको, मतलब only the people of that level will understand them. That is the additional which adjective to Mahajnana. Such is their greatness that none like Gurudev. Who can fathom his depth of vision and expansion? None other than who comes to his level. Na gahate lokaha. Why did he do all each of the thing? हम जो नाटक कर रहे लोग करने वाले, but how many of them truly understood, highly understood? Few are trying to understand, but they don't have capacity. They need some more lives. Gurudev's vision and all, like Vyasji gave so much of literature. Who can do the gahanam of him? How he gave and why he gave? Is it not? We can't even understand the person in front of us, his depth, whether it's positive or negative. Then how can we understand such a Mahagnani's depth? Therefore, tacha loka na gahate means they cannot easily assess him, assimilate him, or understand him, or define him, or even can follow him easily. Tacha loka na gahat means उनको फॉलो नहीं कर पाते. Why? अरे उनको पकड़ ही नहीं पाते. फॉलो करने की बात तो दूर ना. When you see the person who is walking in front, then you follow. Now that person is going so fast, zigzag way, you can't find him, then how can you follow him? That's the meaning of na gahate. That's what in the quotation we'll see. Even Devatas also tried but failed to understand the glory of such Mahatma who has discovered oneness. And they say, हम तो लड़ते रहते अग्नि वायु अरुण इंद्र migrate. You see that all Upanishads talk about it. In Prashna, we have seen they were fighting migrate. In Kena Upanishad, they were also saying, ki, it's our Vijayam. Asmakamevaayam Vijaya, Asmakameva Mahima iti. In that Katha Upanishad. Then the Yaksha comes there. Then they go. In Prashna Upanishad, they to Vayameva etat Banam Avastabhya Vidarayamaha. When each one of them said, then the Mukhya Purana said, Ma, aisa mat kaho, it is me. Then he started moving. Then everybody were moving. Then they started praising, hey Prana, you are great. Now we have understood you. They did stuti later on. So those devatas also have failed to fathom the depth of this jnani of Advaita Anubhava. Also, they could not with their own bhoga shaktis follow him to reach to that. And they were not even left with the traces to be followed. पहले तुम जो भोगी हो गए सब छोड़ योगी बन तब देखेंगे. That's the meaning of tacha loka na gahat. And ordinary people cannot follow them or understand them. This is a very apt thing. Or this is in general also. The more you become good, remember, the less will be the people around you because they can't understand your goodness. Only two people there are. One, those who don't understand. Second, those who understand. Those who don't understand, they take it as negative and go away. Those who understand, they are jealous of you, therefore they go away. बता रहे हैं आपको, अनुभव की बात बता रहे हैं. पीपल आर जेलस ऑफ आवर गुडनेस आल्सो, दे गो अवे फ्रॉम अस एंड अदर्स डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. That doesn't mean don't be good. The idea is don't expect anything from anybody. Being good is just to be good. That's it. Is it not? That should be done. That's natural. That's how the possibility in us, we try for it. That's anyway different topic. So it's understood. Ajay samye tu ekechid bhavishyanti sunishchitaha tehi loke mahajnanaha tacha loko no gahyate. Earlier on, Vaisharadyantu Vainasti, Bede Vichartam Sada, Beda Nimnaha Prathakawadaha, Tasmate Kripanaha Smutaha. Good set of two shlokas. So, Ajay, unborn, Samye, that which is one without second, same. Ekechit Bhavishyanti Sunishchita. Whoever have fully established without trace of doubt in that oneness, obviously in experience, in their experience. They loke mahagnya. Baki sab, they claim that they are jnani, but they are not so. Mahajnanaha. Mahajnani and nahi keh rahe maha. Because in that jnanam, there is no jnani. The individuality will not be there. एक विचित्र बात कहकर आपको छोड़ता हूँ. ज्ञानी में ज्ञान नहीं होता और जिसका ज्ञान में ज्ञानी नहीं होता. जिस ज्ञानी में ज्ञान है वो ज्ञानी नहीं है. How it's so? We are talking about spiritual standpoint. In other aspects, jnani mein jnana hai means you are talking about the intellectual knowledge. Is it not? His ability, knowledge, memory. तो उस ज्ञानी में ज्ञान है. But in the Atma Jnani, there is no jnanam. Because there is no difference between the jnani and jnanam there. So too, in the Atma Jnana, there is no jnani as a separate person to know it. That's what Adi Buddha explained no so detailedly. In the Savita Prakasha explain is given, Surya Bhagavan's light and heat is not to prove himself, not to benefit or improve himself, not to prove to the world, nor to help the world. What is all that says? By nature, Lord Surya is of the nature of heat and light. Other than that, he is not aware of anything only. So in the Atma Jnana, the Jnani, Jnana, that Bheda is not there. For us, I am a Jnani through my intellect which can gain Jnana. I am gaining the Jnanam of the world. So here Jnata, Gneyam, Jnanam, Triputi is there. In the Atma Jnanam, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं आत्मा को जानता हूँ. वो जानने वाली ज्ञात ज्ञेय वस्तु नहीं है. See, Gneya Vinena Sambuddhan Tambadde Ditara. That's how the first mantra started of this Karika, this Prakarana. Last also ये होगा. See, first one Jnanena Akasha Kalpena Gneyan Yoga Gunopman Gneya Vinena Sambuddha Tambande Dvipadamvaram Asparsha Yogo Vainama Sarvasata Sukhoisa Avivado Vivadascha Deshitam Tam Namamyaham. That is how this Prakarana started, if you remember. ज्ञानेन आकाश कल्पेन धर्मान्यो गगनोपमान ज्ञेया भिन्नेन संबुद्धः तम वंदे द्विपदाम्बरम. There is no भिन्नता from the ज्ञेय वस्तु. I am not a ज्ञाता to know the Atma as if it is a ज्ञेय. Last also durdarsham atigambhiram ajam samyam visharadam buddhapadam ananatvam namaskurma yatavalam. That's how the 100th sloka will conclude. So here, why he used word Mahajnanaha? Why didn't he say Mahajnani? Because there is no difference in Jnana and Jnani. But if you say Jnani, you should have said then Jnani, no. Then you will take him as general Jnani, that he knows this Atma as an object of knowledge. Therefore, to avoid that, deliberately said, they are Mahajnanaha. Mahajnanihi nahi kaha udhar. Wonderful. I'll explain it tomorrow. And tacha lokahana gahyate, ordinaries cannot fathom it. So, what is our sadhana therefore? Sunishchita hona. Kisme ajay samye. The unborn and eternally same self We have to find it in our hearts and get identified in that. Then only your Mahajnana. एंड देखो कुछ बातें बहुत ज़रूरी है, टच करता हूँ रिमेनिंग अंडरस्टैंड. When you are in bad habits or any indulgence, it is so justifiable to us. Looks like so बढ़िया सुख दुख सुख है आनंद है. But only with some effort, when you come out of those negative and come to positive, from there when you look, we understand that what we are doing is stupidity. But जब उसी में रहते हैं ना, उसके बुराई हमको समझ में नहीं आती. In the same way, when we are in the world and worldliness and jiva bhava, somehow it looks to be good. Because of that only, we are not ready to leave it and go there. But if you reach there, hypothetically, I'm saying, from there when you look back, what we were living is stupidity, funniness, करके वहाँ समझ में आता है. Like we are all in the life of raga dvesha. हमको justifiable लगता है, oh no, I must love and attach to someone and I must hate to some. This all will continue unless we deeply understand the Vedantic statement. Both both as the experience final as well as in the initial sadhana that I must be free from raga dvesha. हमको तो लगता है कि राग द्वेष के बिना जी नहीं सकते. But only when we become very purified in the higher life, then when he looks back, Arey, how can I be a Beowulf by attaching to someone or hating someone? That will be realized only at a very higher and subtler level. Any higher, subtler things will be realized when we only evolve. Like at one level, it's so good, morning 7 tak so jana, maja aa raha hai, maja aa raha hai. But only an evolved person says, ki, how can I sleep that 4 to 7 time? That is the most divine time for my meditation. That's an evolutionary person's vision. The devolution person will say, so jao. Ordinary people say, I vade maja maja with indriyas. He'll never think also there is a state of being something higher. But the one who did lot of upasana, upavasa, and withdraw himself from the senses, then he will understand, yeah, this is the real life, no? How can we a glutton? How can we a person slave to my tongue for the taste of the things? देखो वो तुरंत पता नहीं चलता. ये संसार ये भोगी cannot think it. That's the meaning of nagahate. Like Gurudev, 20 hours working per day. No, you cannot understand it. He understands it. Ki, how can I waste my time even a moment? I must serve the dharma, I must serve the thing. He got commitment in that. Then to extend that commitment, he has to work hard. For that sake, he has transcended all the laziness and nidra. हमको समझ में नहीं आता वो. हम क्या है, कंफर्टेबली इत्मीनान से जब कोई बुलाता नहीं तब क्लास में. We are at our level. We are not saying we are wrong or all. That's how we are. We can't understand his position. Even if somebody tells us, आगे देख क्यों किया गुरुदेव ने ऐसे करके क्या फायदा उनको, लोग तो वैसे के वैसे है ना. No, this is stupid nonsense talk. Don't encourage that. Never underestimate the influence of the Mahatma and his words. Gurudev's words have sown seeds in millions of people, which will take their time for fructifying. How can you talk like that? Otherwise, you are blaming every avatar and every Mahatma also then, that they came and went out without doing anything. Pagal hai? That's what the loka nagahate. Loka nagahate means they're such a low level that they can't understand the Mahajnana sthita of that one who is established in Aja and Samya. So what is the Bhashya aspect of it? We'll see tomorrow. Then we see Ajeshu Ajam Asankrantam Dharmeshu Jnana Mishyate Yatona Karmate Jnana Asangam Tena Kirtitam. Then अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने अविपश्चितः असङ्गता सदा नास्ति कुमुतावरणाच्युतिः अलब्धावरणाः सर्वे धर्माः प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धास्तथा मुक्ताः बुध्यन्ते इति नायकाः कर्मतेन हि बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेषु तायिनः सर्वे धर्मास्तथा ज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितं दुर्दर्शमतिगम्भीरमजं साम्यं विशारदं बुद्ध्वा पदम् अनानात्वं नमस्कुर्मो यथा बलम्. ॐ अजमपि जनियोगं प्रापदैश्वर्ययोगादगति च गतिमत्तां प्रापदेकं ह्यनेकं विविधविषयधर्मग्राहि मुग्धेक्षणानां प्रणतभय विहन्तृ ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि प्रज्ञामयि शाखवेदक्षुभितजलनिधेर्वेदनाम्नोऽन्तरस्थं भूतान्यालोक्यमज्ञानि अविरतजननग्राहघोरे समुद्रे कारुण्यादुद्धधारामृतमिदमरैर्दुर्लभं भूतहेतोः यस्तं पूज्यामि पूज्यं परमगुरुममुं पादपातैर्नतोऽस्मि यत्प्रज्ञालोकभासा प्रत्यति मगमत् स्वान्तमोहान्धकारः मज्जोन्मज्जच्च घोरैः असकृदुपजनो तन्वदित्रासने मे यत्पादावाश्रितानां श्रुतिशमविनयप्राप्तिरग्राह्यमोघा तत्पादौ पावनीयौ भवभयविनिधौ सर्वभावैर्नमस्ये। ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरि ओं श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। परमऋषिभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। मण्डूकमहर्षे नमः। गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय नमः। जयशङ्करद्गुरे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। Thank you, friends. God bless you all.